You've seen them, right? Those shaky, vertical videos, they pop up on your feed, capturing some moment of intense drama. And just like that, in a split second, we've all become judge and jury. But what happens when that snap judgment, that instant verdict, is completely, devastatingly wrong? Well, we're going to dive into a story that shows the incredible price of getting it wrong.
So, picture this. You're in a busy public park on a totally normal day. You hear people laughing, talking, the usual sounds. And then, bam, a sound just slices through all of it. A raw, piercing scream from a little kid. It's the kind of scream that makes every single head whip around. You just can't ignore it.
And in that chaos, that confusion, as everyone's trying to figure out what is going on, someone shouts a single word, just one. But it's an accusation that just hangs in the air and it instantly defines the entire situation for everyone watching. Predator. And just like that, the story is written.
So, from the crowd's point of view, this seemed horrifyingly simple, right? They weren't just watching something happen, they believed they were witnessing a crime, a clear-cut case of good versus evil. And of course, the cameras were already rolling. Okay, so let's break down how this all went down. You have a man, and he's clearly struggling with this screaming, flailing toddler. At first, people are just concerned. But that concern, it turns to suspicion, fast. They start to gather, they close in, and then, boom. Convinced they are stopping a kidnapping, the crowd literally tackles the man to the ground. In their minds, they were heroes. They just saved a child. But the verdict wasn't just handed down there on the park. Oh no. The real trial, the one with a jury of millions, was just getting started. This is the moment a local incident goes global and becomes an absolute online firestorm. I mean, with all that phone footage instantly available, news outlets didn't bother waiting for, facts or details. The narrative was just too juicy, too compelling. They ran with it, using this incredibly powerful, definitive language. Notice, he wasn't an alleged suspect, no. He was a brazen kidnapper. His guilt was decided before he could even say a single word. And the speed of this escalation, it's just staggering. Think about this. At minute 1, the phones come out and start recording. By minute 5, someone's already shouting "Predator." Within a single hour, 60 minutes, the videos are uploaded and going viral. And by hour 3, the news is reporting a foiled abduction. 3 hours. That's all it took for the entire internet to decide who this man was and destroy his reputation. Okay, so let's just pause for a second, right? I want you to really put yourself there, in that park. You see a man struggling with a screaming kid. This child is fighting him with everything they've got. The crowd is getting angry, people are shouting. What do? Seriously, do you jump in? Do you pull out your phone and hit record? It's a really tough question, and there's no easy answer. And this is where the story, the one everyone thought they knew, takes a massive turn. Everything the crowd saw, everything the media reported, everything we've just talked about, well, it's about to be completely turned on its head. Because here's the one question that got lost in all the noise. The one question that should have been asked right from the start. Was he really a kidnapper? Because the answer, well, it changes absolutely everything. And here it is. This is the massive disconnect. On one side, you have what the crowd saw, a violent abduction in progress. And on the other side, what was actually happening, a level 10 tantrum. It's like two totally different realities were unfolding in the exact same spot.
Now, for anyone who isn't a parent or hasn't been around a toddler, the term level 10 tantrum might sound a little dramatic. But trust me, it's a full-blown meltdown. We're not just talking about a little crying. The kid is physically resisting, screaming, totally lost in their own emotions. And to an outsider, someone who doesn't know the context, it can look almost identical to a child fighting off a stranger. It's that intense.
And here's the most important piece of the puzzle. The man they called a predator, the brazen kidnapper, was the child's own father. And not just that, a single father trying to navigate the incredible challenges of parenting all on his own. And for his trouble, he gets publicly taken down for just trying to handle a really, really tough moment. Which brings us to the final and kind of mind-blowing question. What on earth could cause a toddler to have a meltdown so epic, so violent, that the whole world thought they were being abducted?
He wouldn't let his daughter eat a rock. That's it. That's the whole reason. A dad told his toddler, no, you can't eat that rock.
And in the wonderfully, beautifully illogical mind of a 2-year-old, this was the greatest injustice in the history of the world. An injustice worthy of a tantrum so huge it got her own father labeled a predator by millions of people.
So eventually, the tantrum ended. Of course it did. But the consequences of that crowd's snap judgment, amplified by millions and millions of people online, those were just getting started. It really makes you wonder, what is the price of a judgment call like that?
But when you really break it down, this story is just such a powerful lesson, isn't it? First, it's a huge reminder of how dangerous our snap judgments can be. It's also a peek behind the curtain at the unseen, often exhausting struggles of being a parent. It proves that an online accusation, even when it's totally false, can leave a permanent mark. And maybe most importantly, it just shows the massive, massive gap between what we think we see and what's actually going on.
So I'll just leave you with this one final thought. In a world where every single one of us has a camera in our pocket and a platform to broadcast to the world, the court of public opinion is always in session. It never closes. And the real question we have to ask ourselves is, when we see that next viral video, are we going to be a responsible juror, or are we just going to be part of the mob?